Let's see. Does that work? Kind of. Not really. So, today is Tuesday. I was supposed to start this vlog yesterday, but I just filmed like a bunch of like B-roll footage, but it's fine because we're here now. So I'm going to be trying to vlog this week. This is really not that effective. We'll see how it goes because obviously with everything going on, it is a little difficult to try and make things interesting and to remember when to vlog, when parts are happening. I don't know how. See, I'm already out of the game. By the way, my name's Ariel. So I'm going to be ending this on Sunday because that's when the first week of Believe-a-thon starts, and I want to vlog those 2 weeks. Starting off with what I'm reading now, I am buddy reading The Last Magician with Maddie over at Madison Green, and we're both kind of like unsure about how we feel about it. We're about halfway in right now, and the thing with The Last Magician is that it throws a lot at you all at once, and it takes a lot of your brain power to kind of like figure out what's going on, because we kind of just jump into the action and you kind of realize what the point of this is like halfway through what's going on. They don't explain to you the plan going into something, they just like go into it, and then you're like, oh yeah, they mentioned this like a couple chapters back, and it changes perspective a lot, and not in like a way where it like kind of titles the first chapter of whose perspective it is. So throughout the book you're constantly changing point of views. The Last Magician is about our main character Esta. She has this magical ability where she can pause time. She's like super fast. She can control time, but only like stop it in a way. Like her power reminds me of Quicksilver, where she's just like so fast that within the blink of an eye she can do things. Like she can basically disappear because she's that fast. It's not really, she doesn't have super speed. Her power is to like stop time, and she can move while time is stopped. But the way that I picture it is like the scene from, if you've ever seen like the new X-Men movies with Evan Peters as Quicksilver, that's what it kind of reminds me of, is that it's not everything that everything is moving in slow motion because she's moving so fast. It's just that she's literally pausing time, and then she can move throughout time while everyone else is stopped. She's working for this man called Professor Lachlan in like our century, like now, and he is trying to get this old book that was lost back in 1902. They live in Manhattan, but there is this like barrier called the Brink, where if you cross it you lose all of your magical ability. It's like ripped from you, and it's so painful that most people end up dying. So anyone who has magic that lives in Manhattan is trapped on Manhattan, and they cannot leave. So this book that they're after is supposed to destroy the Brink, and so now it'll allow them to leave, and they're not just trapped on this like island in New York. They need the book in order to get it, and it was lost in 1902 by this magician. Esta has to go on this like quest, I guess. She has like this object that allows her to time travel, and so she goes back to 1902, and her job is she's supposed to infiltrate this heist because the book is actually like kept hold by this society called the Order, who are very anti like magic. But in 1902 there was a heist to go steal this book, but one of the members that was in the heist like betrayed them and lost the book. So she has to go back in time, infiltrate the group that is about to pull the heist on the Order, while also making sure that the magician who betrays the original group does not do that, and that she can take the book and take it with her back to our time period. Sounds like a lot? It's because it is. Yeah. I like it. The writing is very well done. It's just really fast paced. But the thing is that the book is so long too. I find myself getting confused, but then halfway through, like, then they explain like everything, like what was the point and what had just happened. And I was like, oh, okay, I get it now. In the beginning, you're like, I don't know what's going on. Why is everyone doing this? Also, there is a lot of characters, so there's just a lot. Not only is like the perspective changing, but there's a lot of characters to keep track of. Like, I'm telling you, like a lot, because we have like the group that's pulling the heist, we have Esta and her people from her time period, and then we have this other guy called Hart Darrigan, who has been in problems with like 2 different gangs. And so you got Paul Kelly's gangs, and then you got Dolph's gangs, and then not only that, but then you got the characters from the Order, because they're a whole secret society too. So there's just a lot of people to remember that they keep mentioning, but very briefly. I'm sitting at like a 3.5. It could become a 4-star dare I say even a 5-star. It really just depends on how the whole ending is executed, but it's just a lot. And then also, I just started my first book for the Asian readathon as well yesterday, which is If I Had Your Face by Frances Cha, and I'm only 50 pages in, and I'm really liking it, but it's a difficult to read, like mentally, emotionally. If you have any trigger warnings about like body image and stuff like that, this definitely is not the book for you, because it talks about, you know, the difficult lengths that people go to attain beauty, especially like the high crazy beauty standards apparently in Korea, which I had no idea about. Like, just really emotionally taxing, because there's just so much that is going on. So If I Had Your Face follows 4 main characters, I believe, and they're all friends, and they live in like this apartment building next to each other, and one of them is a very beautiful woman. She works in this like salon, underground salon, where she like serves like wealthy men, and she's undergone like crazy surgeries, but she's like stunning now by beauty standards in Korea. There is another girl whose name is Ara, and she's a mute. She ended up losing her voice in some sort of accident that we don't know yet, but she is a hairstylist and she does the hair for the salon girl. She's obsessed with K-pop. She also has a friend that her roommate is like wants to get all this surgery done. And then we just followed another character whose name is Wana, and God, hers probably got me the most so far. She also lives in the building. She is married, she has a husband, and they're trying for children, but it just like talked about her backstory growing up with her grandmother basically being abused. And we're only 50 pages in, and there's just so much already that it's just a lot, but I'm really enjoying it so far. I just know it's gonna be like it's already hard-hitting, at least for me, and I don't read adult fiction that much. Yikes. But it's really good. I'm really loving it so far. It's affecting me, which I think is a good thing for a book to do. It's definitely eliciting an emotional response for me. And then this is the book that I'm reading, and then I listen to the audiobook for The Last Magician when I get home. But yeah, so that's my update for now. Hi, chilling here, and I thought I would give you an update. It is later on in the evening. I updated earlier this morning in my car, and I don't know, I think that's what reading vlogs are about, is to update you on what you've been reading. So, made it to page 125 in If I Had Your Face, which is almost halfway, and I read a little bit at work, and then I read quite a bit more as I was like preparing things for dinner. Cinco de Mayo today, so made some tacos for myself, and they were delicious. Wish I had some tequila, but I don't. Anyways, back on track. I was reading this while, you know, things were sizzling, if you will. I'm still really enjoying it. It's kind of hard to read at points, because, and I mentioned it a little bit earlier in the car, that it hits on a lot of heavy topics, and there's such toxic behavior and toxic things that are like just kind of commented on this book. This is very much like a social commentary on beauty and standards of beauty and the way that women treat each other. Some of the characters like frustrate me so much, but then, you know, the things that they've overcome and the way that what's brought them to them in their life, like, I understand, I can kind of sympathize. I'm gonna try and go through like some of my tabs right now. So for pink is like for parts that I've loved. And there, like I said, I mentioned before that there is a character who works at a salon. Her name is Kiori. So she kind of has a jaded outlook on men, because obviously she works in an industry where she constantly sees, you know, husbands and boyfriends and fathers cheating on their significant others with the people in this salon. So in this situation, she's at work, and one of the men who's like visiting the salon has invited a woman here, which that doesn't normally happen, and she's like obviously rich and upper class. So she comes in and she's like, "Why did you invite me here?" And so says, "She sounded upset to be called to such a setting, but I knew that the opposite was true. She was delighted to see for herself what the inside of a room salon looked like. On their rare visits, women usually gape like fish, judging us. You can tell they are thinking, I would never compromise my morals for money. You would probably only do this to buy handbags. I'm not sure who's worse, them or the men. just kidding, the men are always the worst. And I was like, praise it, girl. So then we have another character named Juana, who is she's married, she has a husband, and they are trying to have children, but she literally didn't marry for love, and like her husband is like completely in love with her, would do anything for her, and just cherishes her so much. And this is part of her monologue. He is a person who expects people to be kind because he is kind. When he drinks or watches a movie, he will say sentimental things that will make me embarrassed for him. If we are in a group setting, I become deeply ashamed. I married him because I was tired and it was already too late for me, even though I was still so young. She kind of upsets me so much because she's in this loveless, not even loveless, he loves her. And she like does not care about him. She kind of almost sees him as being so pathetic, which, reading about all the other men that are in this book, he's like the one like saving grace to this, but she's like, all of the girls have gone through like some very toxic stuff in their life, and it comes across in their behavior. They are not good people, but they also have very redeeming qualities. So it's like so difficult, and you see the things that they have gone through and the way that, you know, society has kind of made them be the way that they are. I sympathize, but then I get so angry at them and at the world. Fascinating, but also very frustrating to read about. Juana especially, like I said, because she's in this relationship and this guy who, you know, like I said, loves her and is very supportive, and just the things that she says about him, how like it's like so heartbreaking, because like you should not be in a relationship. That's so heartbreaking. And then we have another main character, Ara, who I thought I really liked, and I thought she was like the best girl out of all of them, as far as like best as in the fact that she seemed the most stable and the most likable. Was she is likable, but she also does something, and it's not warranted, like the measure that she goes to, but she does it like in an act of revenge, which she has reasons to be pissed, like completely. Her reasons for being upset are valid, but the length at which she goes to get back at the person that has wronged her just like blew my mind. I was like, oh my god. I thought you were really sweet, and I guess I was wrong this whole time. Great, love that. We just got to like a big, I wouldn't even say it's like a plot twist, I guess it is, which I really didn't think that this would have it, but we did reach a plot twist. And one of the other characters that I liked was Miho, and it has to do with her, so I'm like, god fucking damn it. It's so weird, because you know that they're a product of their society. Like, that's just how it is. The way the world works is the reason why these girls are the way that they are. It sucks. Anyways, moving on. I am also buddy reading The Last Magician by Lisa Maxwell with Maddie, and I am on page 323. I don't really have much to update other than what I had said previously in this clip. A hive? What happened here? Nothing else is really updated. It's still kind of sitting at, I would say it might be edging closer to like a 4-star now, because there's a like living together trope, forced bedroom sharing, or so that's fun, so I'm really enjoying that. So, but it's still kind of a 3.5. maybe it could be pushed to a 4. I read about 60 pages today, and you realize the connections like later on as you go on. Like, you don't see how everything is going to come together, but then when it does, you're like, oh, okay, like I like how that's being executed, even though in the beginning you're kind of a little bit thrown off because you don't know what's really happening, but then you see like how the plot line is connecting. This is a very Ravenclaw book, okay? This is using all of like my 2 brain cells. If you don't pay attention, then you're gonna lose information that is going to be important to come into play later. It doesn't handhold you like at all. It tells you and expects you to pay attention, and if you were paying attention, then you see that light bulb goes off and you're like, oh my god, this is awesome. Like, I can't, like, you're getting the payoff without even realizing you were getting, like, that was meant to be, you know, something that was coming to come back into play. I don't know, so I'm really liking it, but it is like a journey. At least I'm getting tan out of this, which, by the way, I do wear sunscreen every time I go out for a walk slash jog. Let's be real, it's more of a walk. Okay, so it's been a couple days since I've last updated, but I've just been really busy. Yeah, it's been like 1 or 2 days since I've last updated, and I have since then finished 2 books. But before we get to that, I just got home from work and I am starving. So lately I've been trying to be really good about running on my days off and eating like really like healthy, at least for me, like salads and fish and fruit. So naturally, when I was hungry on coming on the way from home and I had the urge to get chicken nuggets, I of course said yes. And while I do that, I have also gotten some book mail, which I think I know what these are. At first I wasn't sure because there was an Amazon package and I was like, what the frick have I ordered from Amazon? I don't remember that. But then I recalled that I think I did order something from Amazon. So pop these chicken nuggies open and I'll start these unboxing. So I dip my chicken nuggies into barbecue and I also like sweet and sour. I'm so hungry. Okay, so this is the first one. I don't know which package is which, but okay. So the first book that I have to show you is something that I ordered off of Book Outlet, and that is The House with the Chicken Legs by Sophie Anderson. US has like a hardcover that is cool, but I'm not really that big of a fan of it. I like this because it has the foil on it, and I just really like the artwork, so I ordered the UK paperback. So I'm happy about this. I don't know too much about it, although I think it's like Russian folklore. I've just seen this on Gavin's channel as well as Ashley from A Frolic Through Fiction and a couple of other people's. So when I saw this cover, I had to get it because it's stunning. The next one is this guy right here, which I got also from Book Depository. So I'm pretty sure I know what this one is too. This is also a recommended book from Gavin, if it is what I'm thinking it is. I thought it was gonna be something else, but it is A Pinch of Magic by Michelle Harrison. Again, also a recommendation that I've seen from Gavin from How to Train Your Gavin. So I've been waiting forever for these to come in. Of course, with everything going on, it's gonna be a little bit difficult to get your hands off stuff, especially if it's coming overseas, but this is also the UK paperback of A Pinch of Magic, and I'm so obsessed. And I know Gavin really loves this book, so I'm excited to have it as well. Time for a chicken nugget break before we get on to the last package. This is Fusco Girl of me. Anyways, okay, on to the last package. It is Percy Jackson and the Battle of the Labyrinth by Rick Riordan. I kind of am obsessed with the old hardcovers. I bought this as a used copy and it's actually in really good condition. And Battle of the Labyrinth is book 4. I held up 3 fingers. Book 4 in the Percy Jackson series. I am planning on reading this for the prompt for the Bookkeeper Stronghold in the readathon. That was a lot of like things, nouns in one sentence right after the other. But I really like the old hardcovers, and I have this hardcover in Sea of Monsters. Kind of want to collect these ones. And it wasn't that expensive. I spent a lot of coin on books during this quarantine. I need to do a book haul too, but I've been really trying to put that off. So there's the book haul. I guess now I can talk about the books that I finished, although I kind of want to eat my chicken nuggies and then maybe talk about them. Maybe I'll just munch on them for a little bit and then get back to the books. Give me a second. Okay, so let's talk about books that I've read. Last night I finished The Last Magician and I rated it a 3 out of 5 stars. And it's almost a 3.5, we'll say 3.5 out of 5 stars. It was, I think I said it earlier in the vlog, but it was going in between a 3 and a 4 for me for the longest time because, first of all, I really enjoyed the writing style. I like how Lisa Maxwell writes her stories, and interesting, and I think the plot was very interesting, although I think it got a little bit muddled as we went on and it was kind of became too much. I also just really like the time period that it was set in. It was set in 1902. I just like the atmosphere. That was good. The atmosphere was really well done. I love the feeling of the characters and the places that we were all there. It definitely felt as if we were in that era. There were some interesting subplots, but I feel like they kind of got lost in all that was going on with this plot. It was just a lot for one book, and I feel like some of it wasn't necessary. I guess it's like my complaint with a lot of things. It's like, if it doesn't seem like it's necessary, then why is it in the book? I was talking with Maddie, and we both kind of guessed at one of like the major twists in the book, and I kind of caught on early on. We both kind of did, but like about like one thing in particular, I feel like I caught on early on. So that when it came time for the real reveal, I just like wasn't that impressed. Same thing with the ending. I kind of already knew what was going to happen because to set up for the second, I don't know. It was very predictable towards the end, whereas the whole book I was like, where the heck is this going? Only for it to be that like easy to tell at the end. I went back and forth on whether or not I liked the romance. I liked the characters, but sometimes their chemistry felt on, and then other times it felt off, and then it was like I wanted them to flirt more relentlessly with each other, because it was like so slow burn that nothing was happening. Like you couldn't feel, at times I couldn't even feel the tension. They just like seemed like to be annoyed with each other, but not like sexual tension annoyed. They were just like, whatever, I don't want to deal with you right now. I didn't feel the passion behind them, you know what I mean? I will say that I do want to read the second one just because I have one major question that I want answered, and it has to do with a side character that's not even really that important. My favorite character was probably Hart Darrigan, which is the male love interest. Although I did really like a character called Nibsy too, who's kind of like, he's a side character. All the other ones are kind of just like, meh. Esta, I like her, but she messed up too many times and she made too many mistakes, and I was just getting irritated. But she is a cool character. She's definitely confident and sassy, and I like that part about her. I feel like we just got nowhere by the end of the book because I already knew what was going to happen. So it kind of was like, I guess, disappointing. I spent all this time only to figure out how things were going to happen. That I was like, okay, well, what was the point of this if I already saw that this was going to how it was going to end? Listen to the audiobook too, but for the most part, I was also reading along with the audiobook. And I almost wish, I really liked the narrator, but it was a female narrator, and this book is told from like multiple perspectives, like a bunch of different perspectives. And I wish that they had at least gotten like a male narrator for the male parts, because I feel like I probably would have like liked it more. Because like when sometimes girls try to do guy voices, it doesn't always like make for a pleasant listening experience. It was good. It was just an average book though for me. I also finished If I Had Your Face by Frances Cha, and this I gave actually a 4.5 out of 5 stars. I really liked this book, and I was telling you guys earlier about it that there is a lot of like tragedy in this book, and not even like so overwhelming tragedy or things that are just like drawn out and painful, and it was just like so casual in the way that it talks about like pain and heartbreak and, you know, how life isn't fair, but it was just like as if it was just like whatever. Like that's kind of how it felt. So the way that it was just like so nonchalant towards things that were so painful. Life is fucked and this is how it is. Like that's how like the story was told. It's like you live with it or you don't, but nothing can be changed. Like it was very matter of fact in the way that we don't always get what we want. Some of us are treated really poorly in life, but that's just the way that it is. And you can't change that. You can only try and control yourself. At first, I wasn't sure if I liked really any of the main characters, or I did, but like they also did like some awful things each. Miho is probably like the best like character as far as like not being a bad person sometimes. They're not, none of them are like bad people. They're just people who do bad things, but they don't do it without like justifications. Like they have reasons for behaving the way that they do. And a lot of it has to do with life circumstances, just the way that they are, the way that they've grown up, the way that they've had to deal with the things in life, and the way that people treat them. So yeah, I will say I liked the ending, because while this whole book was kind of painful to read about, and it got easier as time went on, they kind of give all the hard-hitting stuff, I guess, like really in the beginning, and then later on we kind of go on through the story. It's not really like a story narrative. It's more like a slice of life of each of these characters and how they all know each other and how their lives come together. They're all either roommates or they live on the same floor of this apartment building. One of the girls lives down below, but all the other girls in the story are friends, and she doesn't meet them until the very end. Like, she's seen them coming in and out of the apartment, but she's never introduced herself. That is Wanna. And I liked the ending because while it wasn't like your typical happy ending, it was a happy ending. I will say that. If it had been like a depressing, sad ending, I probably wouldn't have liked it. However, there was still kind of somewhat glimmer of hope for each of them. I would say my favorite character is probably Kiori. She works at this like underground salon. I really liked it, and I liked the ending, and I liked the characters, and there was a lot of quotes and a lot of parts that I really admired. It was a good one. Now I'm reading Little Fires Everywhere. I'm only like 15 pages in, but I'm excited to read it. I'm gonna try and finish it this weekend because Monday starts Believe-a-thon. Alrighty, it is Saturday evening. I have not updated, but that's because I've had a busy day of filming and trying to get laundry done, so my living room is a mess right now. But in between filming, I have actually read a little bit of Little Fires Everywhere by Celeste Ng. I wanted to finish it this weekend, but it is already 8:12, and so I don't know if I'm gonna be able to get halfway through tonight. I'm on page 82, which I would have to read like at minimum like another 80 pages in order for me to be close to halfway. I'm not super tired though yet, so it might happen, although I kind of just want to watch like some Netflix or some Disney Plus while I fold my laundry. And Little Fires Everywhere is slow going right now. So far I've seen everything that's happened in the show, so I'm not quite as invested as I would have been. However, I know a lot of people are blown away by this book, and I haven't seen obviously the end of the season, so I'm excited to get into some content that I haven't seen before. But I just wanted to quickly update this because I haven't updated at all today, and this weekly vlog ends tomorrow. So yeah, there's my update for right now. I'm gonna go get the rest of my laundry, take off this makeup, and I'll probably end up watching something because that's what I feel like doing. But yeah, if I carry it into Believe-a-thon, I don't think it'll distract me that much because I was able to finish 2 books. Also, I do have something else to update, but give me a second, because I started reading another book that was not on my TBR, and it kind of distracted me, and I'm halfway through it. So it was a mistake to pick it up, but we'll get to that because, you know, it's an interesting pick. Okay, it's now Sunday evening, and I forgot to vlog at all today, but I want to close out this vlog. I'm sorry it was probably not interesting whatsoever. It's just a real struggle right now because I never know when to film or what to film because it's boring AF in my life. But to close this out, I have started reading Little Fires Everywhere. I am a little less than halfway through. I'm on page 163. And I don't know if I'm going to keep reading it while Believe-a-thon is going on. I thought originally I said I was going to, but I might prioritize a couple of those before I pick this up again. So I might just wait until the next 2 weeks are over, depending on how many books I read for Believe-a-thon. Because I've added also a few to my TBR for that as well, so we'll actually see. But I know what I was saying before, that it was like not capturing my interest because it was stuff that I already seen in the show. Well, that's kind of changed now. So we're exploring more into the relationships, and we're touching on, sorry, my hair is a mess, what else is new, and it's going deeper past what I had seen in the TV show, obviously, to set up the characters' relationships. Basically, to give a short description of this book, there is this lady called Elena Richardson. She lives in this very like white bread community where everything is the same, everything is regulated, and she has 4 children, and she rents out one of her spare properties to a single mom and their daughter, and she starts to get really suspicious of the mother of this daughter and tries to dig into her past because she's creating a little bit of, she's rocking the boat in the community and she's not happy about it. And she really doesn't know anything about this tenant. Meanwhile, the daughter, Pearl, is getting really close with Mr. Richardson's family. And there's a lot of layers going on, but short description is that it's basically about this mom, Mrs. Richardson, and then the mom of the daughter Pearl, whose name is Mia. And they're kind of back and forth because they are complete opposites. Mia is pretty much like a wanderer. She is an artist and she doesn't stick around for one place too long, and she doesn't organize anything. She's not as type A, like, at all, like how Miss Richardson is. And or Elena, I don't know, they just keep calling her Mrs. Richardson. So I'm really liking it so far. I'm excited to watch the series when I'm finished with the book, but for now I guess we'll put it on pause because the vlog's over. She had her chance and we didn't finish it, and I'm sorry, that's on me. Again, sorry that this vlog was not that exciting. I will try my best with my Believe-a-thon vlog. My cat is destroying something in the background, so I gotta stop that. And I will see you guys next time. Thank you so much for watching if you stayed this long, and yeah, see you soon because I'm about to start a new vlog literally at midnight, so love that.